Hi, it's Bidanya Barassa, and welcome to Bidanya's World. A lot of you guys, every time I'm either in the supermarket or I'm either in the gym or just doing my own things, you guys stop me and ask me, when is Mama coming back on the podcast? All the time, Mom. They keep on asking for you. I'm like, what about me and the other people? So today's guest is my one and only Mom. And today, Mom,
Okay, Lady JB Quinaburi.
so today I'm interviewing Mom as an entrepreneur. And her story is always amazing. And it's sometimes I look back and I'm like, wow, how did Mom become who she is today? And I'd like her to share her journey with you. So, Mom,
Yes.
welcome to my podcast
Thank you, Bidanya, for having me.
again.
Yes.
I know you were so excited.
Of course I am.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Because I'm so good in what I do, you know.
So, Mom,
Yes.
tell us about your entrepreneur journey. How did it all begin?
Oh, you people say this, they say yo. It was not my intention to get into business. I was forced by circumstances. I used to work for a certain advertising agency, and they thought that I was not good enough, so they let me go, or you can say they sacked me. When they sacked me, they just gave me an opportunity to get into business. That's when I got the idea that I decided I'm tired of working. Sometimes people don't appreciate you. Yet, so many of my friends kept on telling me, Jennifer Barassa, you have the gab of language, you have good PR. Why don't you start business? And I'd been asked that for almost like 10 years before. But I was not interested. I liked the perks of being an account director with a company car, good pay, and so on. And you know, that's where you are respected, you are a chief, a general manager, or an account director, you feel good. I was not ready to get into entrepreneurship and start hustling. And those days, people used to say, I'm going to Juakali. For me, I refused. I say, I'm not going to Juakali. I'm a professional. I'm an entrepreneur. I called myself, and I don't like being called a businesswoman. I like being called myself an entrepreneur because I think entrepreneur create more wealth all the time, and they are bigger than just being a businesswoman. You find people anywhere in some places call themselves a businesswoman, but I thought that I'm bigger than being a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, because I'm going to create a lot of employment for people and create wealth.
And they say naming is important. So how you title a certain name, it's also very important
Yes.
because it also brings more to that.
Yeah, now that brings
Yeah.
me to where I'm calling myself top image. So I said, being in marketing and a bit of PR, I wanted people to remember that name, top of mind awareness. And then I thought that top image. And also top image has to be top in whatever they are doing. That's when I came up with the name top image. Because people always ask me, how did you come up with the name top image?
So take us back first. You were fired or
Yes.
you were let go.
Yes.
From the day you were let go, we want that journey
Yes.
and take my listeners and my viewers through the journey when you got the letter or they called in the office and they told you, I'm sorry, Jennifer Barassa, but it's unfortunate. We have to let you go.
Okay.
So take me through that journey and also what you did next within that period of 1 month or two.
Bidanya, what you don't know is that was not the first time I've been let go. You can say I've been sacked twice, but look where I am.
Why were you sacked twice? Why? Tell
One
us.
was I used to be a GM for Smith Klein Beecham or GSK, and I was a GM in Tanzania, and the business was not growing as fast as the company would like. And also the company, the managing director came and changed the strategy. So what they did, they declared me really redundant. So no one went to, the position was declared redundant because
The business isn't doing so well.
the business was not doing so well. And it used to be a one-woman show. I used to operate from Nairobi and go to Dar es Salaam to get the orders and do the business there and so on. But actually, I think they were not giving the support, the business they're supposed to do.
And I remember us going to Dar, looking for houses, looking for school at that
Yes,
time.
yes.
I remember that trip, and
Yeah.
you're telling me, oh, we might move to Dar
Dar.
es Salaam.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
But then I was not given anyone to work with. I didn't even have a PA. I didn't have a sales team. I didn't have an office. Even when I went to Dar, I used to operate from the hotel.
So you're starting the business
I was starting the
afresh
business
in
afresh.
Tanzania.
Yes.
They were expanding to
Yeah.
Tanzania.
But there was also a lot of resistance from the traders in Tanzania. They just didn't want Kenya to go to Tanzania. They never wanted at all. So the positions were declared redundant, and they paid me very well. And remember, they used to pay your school fees for
Yes.
Green Acres.
And they continued
And they
paying it.
continued
Yeah.
for you. You are in Form 3 until Form 4. And then they also they gave me a car, allocated me a car for 3 months, paid my rent for 3 months. They paid me good money.
So during that 3 months period, it was you're given 3 months
In lieu of pay.
in lieu of pay
not-
and everything else
in
with
lieu
the
of-
labor laws.
Yes.
And then during that time, were you looking for a job, or that's the time you got now the other job at?
I didn't look for a job. Just people called me when they found out that I'd left. My friends were talking about it. They couldn't believe that I'd been let go. Some, of course, were happy that I'd been sacked. You know, you have friends, all sorts of friends. There are good friends, bad friends who don't like good things for you, or they are happy that you are not succeeding. Some of them laughed. Oh, she thought now she was a general manager in Tanzania. Now she has been sacked. She has no job. But that did not break me down. I just soldiered on. Then there are friends who hear a position. They'll tell me, please apply. And
Ma'am,
then
you're
applied.
digressing as always.
What?
I'm asking.
Yes.
I need you to tell me your journey.
Which journey? See, I'm just telling
Yes,
my journey.
I asked you the question.
To ask
So
again.
during those 3 months, whereby everything is okay, comfortable, you've been given 3 months to, can I
My
say,
pay.
resettle?
Yes.
Yeah, and my education is fine.
Yes.
What did you do within those 3 months? You said you weren't looking for a job. You were.
I just stayed at home. Read
So for the 3 months,
newspapers.
I don't remember you staying home for
But
3
I
months.
didn't stay for 3 months. After 1 month, I got a job.
Exactly. That's
Yes,
what I'm
after 1 month,
asking.
I
So
got a job.
What job did you get?
I got the job with Lufthansa.
Lufthansa.
Yeah,
yes, I
cargo,
forgot.
Lufthansa cargo, or Air East Africa, where I worked with actually, Ginadine was my boss. They wanted a marketing person. So I went and worked with them for a year. And you know, I was now being paid in euros in Europe
Okay,
after having
Mama.
left, after having been sacked from GSK.
In
I went
Kenya
to a
shillings.
job. Yeah, now I
Now
was
you
being
got
paid some
euros.
of that in euros. Hey.
Okay, so how
Na
long?
Mungu ni nani? Yes,
Mungu ni
yeah, nani?
mwema.
Okay, sema.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after that stint, how long were you there at Lufthansa?
I was there for a year.
Then you were sacked.
No, I
Oh, you
wasn't
looked-
sacked.
okay,
That's when
then.
I resigned. You think just people like sacking
mean,
me?
you-
I
It's
do
hard
resign
working
also.
with you though, but
What do you
it's
mean?
okay.
I'm a good performer. Ask my former bosses; they will tell you. Very bold and forward thinking.
Okay.
So I left
Cause
because I just I got a bigger job as an account director at McCann Erickson, if I can mention the name. It was
Okay.
a bigger job. Still more money. Although more money, but I thought it would be good for me to work for a multinational company, which an advertising firm.
and you didn't really enjoy Lufthansa. I don't remember you. Maybe because
No,
you're there for a short time.
I went to Berlin.
Oh,
I
you
went to
traveled.
Stuttgart. I traveled, yes.
And you
I
brought
did.
me those leather shoes.
Yes,
at
good
one
ones,
time.
yeah, which you didn't like
I didn't
anything I
like.
buy, you just don't like anything I buy you. Sema.
Okay, so McCann Erickson, what happened there?
I went there and I got such a lot of resistance because when I went the first time, I was just as account what?
Executive.
And account something, not executive. Then I was promoted to be a higher position, and people just did not like. And then they were thinking that I'm coming from marketing. I did not grow up into the marketing advertising agents. So I had a lot of
you grew up from
politics.
education and not
Education,
marketing,
then I went
yes.
to marketing.
Yeah.
Then I done a lot of sales and marketing. And I come to an advertising agency. And some of those guys were feeling that I should not have gotten that position. So I was faced with a lot of politics, opposition, infighting, blah, blah, blah. I was not surprised when I think they went and talked to the MD to badmouth me and so on. Then I was again declared redundant. But I was given
You are
my
good.
a good
Say,
send
send
off.
off,
Yeah.
yes.
Then that time, I decided, I'm not going back to employment. My friend, especially Sue Omanga, must mention her name. She told me,
Auntie Sue,
Jennifer,
yeah.
you can do business. Why can't you? She encouraged me to do business. Although now after that, so many people are calling me to apply for jobs, to go for jobs. I just refused. That's when I started now my entrepreneurship journey.
So, what made you think about Top Image Africa where it is? I mean, I'm sure you probably did some research. You asked around, or maybe you just saw how things were happening, and then you said, "Let me start
No,
how."
no. When I was at Maracana Erickson, I saw an opportunity because they used to handle Kenya breweries. And at that time, Kenya Brewers was having issues with fighting with Castle beer, and they were not strong in the modern trade. And having come from Boots Pharmaceutical, I was very good and Kodak in the modern trade. So I came up with an idea to tell them that they need to do a lot of merchandising and promotions for EABL. Being an advertising agency, they could not do it. They said, hey, we don't know anyone who can do this for us. So when I jumped out, I formed the company and I went to, I sold myself to Kenya Breweries. But again, it was easy for me to sell myself to Kenya Breweries because the then general manager marketing, Peter Wanjama, was my boss at Boots.
Okay.
So he knew me
So
and
the
he knew
networking
the
helped.
network. So he knew I could perform. So he gave me a chance, introduced me to the marketing manager who was General Diambo. We hit it off and we started doing merchandise and they could see the result. That's how now my journey started into entrepreneurship. Then now came again Standard Chartered, Suo Manga Networking,
All right.
who were the
So
first ones.
let,
Yes.
let me stop you there.
Uh-huh.
So you started Top Image. The name came because you were thinking about image. It has
Yes.
to be the sales ladies or the sales team that
Yes,
have to be of
top notch.
yes.
To give a top image. Yes. Yeah.
And I think you need to elaborate more on the business you started because
Yes.
you're assuming that people know what
Okay.
you started.
This business we started is the company outsources some what do people salespeople, if they're sales promoters or people who do displays or people who do promotions, promoters arranging products in the supermarket. And in the supermarket principles and context that eye level is buy level.
Yes.
So you need to fight for that space where you can see the product. Because if you don't see the product, you cannot pick it. You know how the supermarket is, the aisles and so on. So you don't want your product to be on the floor. You don't want to be up, but you want to be eye level. So you want to fight for that space there. It also, you need to keep that product clean so that when people see it, it's a clean product. They say that it's not stay there for long.
That's
There's the
merchandising.
FIFO. Yeah, the
Yes.
FIFO.
Yeah.
Fast in, fast out, and so on. So them, because it's an organization, they cannot employ 200 people, 100 people to go around so many supermarkets in Kenya. So they outsource to companies like us. Now these days, either we call ourselves BTL, below the line advertising agency, or promotion agency, or merchandising
So
agency.
at that time, you started a promotional
Yeah.
agency, and you had
Merchandising
about
and
merchandising
promotion.
and promotion, and you had about one client.
Yes.
But before you were in a partner, were you in partnership before or you went
Yeah.
solo?
Yeah, at first I went into partnership, actually. Thanks for reminding me. This is what happened. When I realized that there was that opportunity, and I not registered my company, I called a friend, a person we used to work with at Boots. She was called Jen. And we formed a company called Feedback. So we started as Feedback. But because also Jen had worked at Boots and also Wanjama knew us. So it was very for us to get inroads. But partnerships have also their own problems and so on. At one time, she decided she wanted to pull out. So she pulled out. And then now she didn't want even me to continue with her name Feedback. I had to form my own name Top Image. And we closed that business. But because I'd already started doing business with EABL or Kenya Breweries, I just want to tell them now, Jen has decided not to continue with this business. I'll continue with it as Top Image. And then the rest, like they say, is history.
And what you did was you started from your sitting room
Yes.
and with an answering machine. And at one time, you said only 30 shillings.
Yeah,
Your
we
business
wanted
as
that
top
story.
image. Yes.
That story has
Yeah,
been
you've
told
gone.
many
I know,
times.
but you've gone round in circles. I think, hey, ma.
But you know, I'm a lawyer.
No, it doesn't matter.
Also, old age.
We don't have two
But
days here.
yeah, but old age and so on.
Yes.
You have 2 days here. After all, it's my house. You can stay and even sleep. Okay, continue. So actually, before we go that one, even for feedback, I'm the one who wrote the proposal. And when I wrote the proposal, you know, those days, the computers were not as many as they are these days. So I went to a bureau. They typed. Actually, I gave it to my late sister Maggie. That's Moonlightning. She typed it for me. So what I did with the 30 shillings, I went and had photocopies made. And those days, a photocopy used to be 10 bob. Yeah. So one page is 10 shillings,
The
10 shillings. So
proposal.
yeah, for the proposal. Then I started hitting the streets of Nairobi or talking to clients. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why you say I just needed my head, my brain to start the business. And what I needed, what I had, I did a proposal which just cost me 30 shillings. And then that's how the business started. I didn't put any money.
And then also with the support of aunties saying that you can do it.
Yes.
I think that's very important.
Yeah,
Having people
yeah.
in your circle supporting you and saying you can do it. Because
Yeah.
you're getting into
Uncharted-
uncharted waters, ma.
And
Because you're
the-
used to,
eh?
you're used to your full salary,
yeah,
from Boots
exactly.
to Kodak.
Your school fees being paid and so on. Then the next person, when I started the business, the other person who came running was Suomanga
To support you.
to support me. She was the marketing manager at Standard Chartered, and she had this idea. And so we are the first people to walk the aisles in the lines. What do you call them? The queues in the bank. Those days there were so many people in the bank just coming to check for their their balances and things like that, and things like those. So she wanted that instead of people getting into the bank just to ask for their balances, they should go to the ATM. So I hired girls from the Nairobi University, gave them very good uniform, and we went and would go on each queue asking, what do you want? Then when they tell us that they want just the statement, we take them to the ATM to show them how it. And now my journey expanded.
Have you ever regretted being an entrepreneur? Are there times whereby you say, why did I even get into this? Because it has its ups and it has its downs.
Much later on, not initially. Initially, what I used to think is like this. Because I started the business in 1995. And this year we are going to be 30 in May.
Yes.
Top Image is turning 30. I used
Top
to work.
Image Africa.
Thank you,
not
madam.
Top Image.
Okay, sawa. You came and changed the name Top Image Africa, but you found me when I was growing exponentially, and then you said, "Ma'am,
Yeah, at
since
times
we are
you
going
can
so many."
grow so fast and then you hit a dead wall. So you also have to manage growth.
Yeah,
And that's what I brought into the company.
Yes, you did that, and
Because
then
you
you
have
said,
to manage growth.
yeah, and then
It's
now you said because we were in
important.
Senegal or in Nigeria, but where you said, "Mommy, why don't we change this to Top Image Africa?" Thanks to you. So now you have made me
And my
forget what I was
question
saying.
was, have you ever regretted being an
No,
entrepreneur?
tell me I'm an old woman. Now what is that?
Because you're all over the place.
But that's how old people talk. Yes, go ahead. Next time I'm not going to come if that's
No,
the
you
case.
have to. People love you. So you just have to be here, whether you like it or not.
So I must ask, what did you ask? I forgot it.
Did you
Honestly.
ever regret
Regret.
being an entrepreneur? And at any one time, did you say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have started this journey?
No, I didn't regret. I'm a fighter. And when I start something, I can't give up. I just say this has to work. Especially, I used to feel bad. I used to feel bad, not regret, when the clients have not paid me on time, and we used to stay in the same compound with my landlady, and on the 8th she sends her lawyer
Maid.
lady to come and knock on my door that she wants her rent. I used to just feel bad that way. But not that because I've started my business. My business was set like at this time. I fasted for 40 days before I
Yes.
started. So it was based on the Christian principles, anchored on Jesus Christ and on God. I knew it was going to work.
And the days where, because you opened up in Wilson Airport, and there are
Yes.
days whereby the phone even wouldn't ring. It
Eh,
would be too silent. What were
well,
your thoughts during that time? Ma'am, no client, no
no,
one.
no,
It's
no. We had
silent.
one
And you
client. We
had
just had
you
one
had me
client.
there. My
Yeah.
sister was at the reception,
Reception,
and then
yes. Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. I just knew that it will work one day. I'll
you had
work.
that belief
I
in
had
you.
that belief that I cannot throw in a towel now, just now. The business I had at that time was able just to pay for my rent and do what and pay your school fees. I remember those days when your school fees used to your check used to bounce. Yeah,
Yes,
and then they
I
charge me
remember.
5,000 for each. Hey, I won't forget
Yeah.
at that time. But I just sold alone. I never, I don't easily give up. So I just fought and I said, this has to work. Then I started making money. I started by 1995. Oh, I think I was already a millionaire.
Ooh,
1998.
okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, being an entrepreneur definitely has its ups,
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, how do you handle setbacks and no's? There's several times probably been told no. Maybe it was a proposal,
Mm-hmm.
and just setbacks in terms of either life or relationships. How do you handle that?
I don't know if it's in my character or the way I am and so on, and also maybe being a firstborn. It throws you into leadership when you have the firstborn and so on, and setbacks are there. And I think my mother, because I remember one time I went to my mother because my auntie, those days we used to borrow people's clothes if you're going to a party.
No, I
But
don't know.
those
And
days,
I
yeah,
don't
in our
understand
days,
that theory.
yeah, you don't understand because you are a bujua,
I'm not.
you
It's
have
just
this
that.
on like that. As we grew up in Islas, in Maringo, we used to sleep on the floor. Oh, unatandika gunia, and then you have a blanket, and then you are sharing with your sisters and brothers and so on. There were no bed sheets those days. So we grew. Sometimes you want to go somewhere, your friend has a nice, you go and borrow to
So,
wear
where
it.
were we again? What was the
Maringo.
question I asked you?
So I'm coming. What was it, by the way? No.
You're even confusing me.
No. So
Oh,
I want to tell you
goodness.
how the setback so on. So
Yes.
now my auntie refused to give me her address to go out to a party, but gave it to another cousin of mine. So I went to my mother crying and telling her, Mom, imagine I asked auntie so and so. She has refused me to give me the dress, but I can see it with so and so. My mother told me, just work hard, my daughter. You'll get those things. Just like the way she told me when I saw Pamela Mboya, told me, work hard, you are going where those things are. I'm so masa. And like I've told you, my mother told me, work hard. Work never killed someone. So
Yeah.
with that, she encouraged me. I knew that setback will be there, but I knew one day I'm going to go there, I'm going to get my clothes, I'm going to get my shoes. And you can imagine that these days how many shoes I have and clothes.
We're not
So
talking.
setbacks,
We're
yes,
not
yeah.
talking.
But those are the
Yes.
setbacks. So my mother told me that setbacks are there, but
And rejection.
and
Yeah.
rejection are
Yeah.
there. So don't like telling me if you fall down, don't sit down. Immediately wake up and move on and say what's the next? What do next? And that's how I've taken it always that setbacks will be there, and there are times. I remember I like calling myself Jennifer Barassa. What's this going on? I call a meeting with myself, and I have a meeting with myself. I say, "Oh, if I did this, I did this. Why didn't I do this? If I do this, it will happen." And that's why I deal with my
You talk to
setbacks.
yourself.
Yeah, I talk to myself. Yeah, having a meeting with myself, and I talk to myself. And you have heard me many times
Yeah,
saying,
it's true. Hey,
Jennifer
Jennifer
Barassa,
Barassa. It's
hey,
true.
Jennifer Barassa, hey, what is happening?
Yeah.
Do this, and
Yeah.
this, and then, yeah. I hold a meeting and I come up with a solution
Okay.
in that meeting.
Someone might call you insane, but it's
I'm
okay.
not insane. I'm
No,
very
but it's important.
intelligent.
No, but it's true. It's true. At times you have to, they say, get yourself outside yourself and then
Yeah,
to
so
view
that's what I
yourself.
normally do, yes.
Okay, so mom, you were the first
Lady teacher to teach at
lady
Lenana School.
teacher in Kenya, right? The first woman teacher.
Not in Kenya.
No, in
At Lenana School.
the first woman,
Lady teacher.
lady teacher in
Yeah.
Lenana School. You're the first salesperson in Kodak.
In Kodak, lady
lady salesperson.
Yeah.
So, being the first woman in all these areas, are there things you did differently, or were you in a situation saying that I'm the only woman here, so I need to act differently, or I have to do things differently, or I have to overdo things. What was going through your mind during that process, and what did you do internally and intentionally to make sure you shine where you are at that point?
Bidanya, I've always been a bold person and straightforward at talking. I remember I have told you this story before. When I used to play football, because I'm an all-rounder person. I sang in school at Austin's Cathedral. We sang the national anthem. I didn't know it was the national anthem. I was in drama. I was a head girl. So I've always been in those positions. So on.
Leadership roles.
And then I've had, like I had my brother's friends and so on. You know, when I was on a joke, I'm digressing. You know, when I was in Maringo, I used to do heady. Gonna tell my boys, have you ever done that heady bone? Evie? So
Why
I was
would I be
like
doing
a
that?
tomboy. I was a tomboy. So I was very comfortable wherever I was, but I was very ambitious and I wanted to be the best. So I worked so hard to make sure I'm the best of the best. So even when going to Lenana, the boys loved me. The boys loved me. And I was
Your
a good teacher.
students.
Yeah, my students.
Yes.
They loved me. And when I joined Kodak also, my bosses loved me because I'm very result oriented.
So the qualities, yeah. So
Yeah.
what qualities did you have that makes you think you succeeded in that place?
Qualities. I'm just a good worker.
Hey,
And yes, a good
so
worker.
what's a good worker?
Okay.
What do you mean good worker?
I mean, a
Someone
good.
can say they're a good worker by being in the office on time, but that's not a good worker.
No, I do my work the way it's required and give results. Yeah, and they used to like it. Results will go up. Whatever I did, things were working out very well. That's, I think it's just
Your
my
character.
aggressiveness.
Yeah.
I was aggressive but not abrasive. So that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
And that character Bidanya was good. I tell you a story. Maybe sometimes you don't want me to tell you many stories, but it's a good story. Stop looking at me like that.
At times I'm scared what she's going to say, so I just have to give you the side eye.
when we were at Boots and my boss, Mr. Steele, I don't know where he is. I hope he's still alive. The Minister of Education orders a lot of money, and they could not collect that money.
So they said
And there was a gentleman who do that work. So I was sent to collect that money. And they knew my character. I'm a bit dramatic, but also very
a bit. A bit.
So they sent me, and they knew. And my boss told me, Jennifer, go and get us that money. So I went there twice, up a hill there. I couldn't get the gentleman. Then another day, I woke up very early in the morning. I went there by 7. So when the secretary was opening the office, I was there with her. I went in, I sat down. I told her I want to see Mr. So and so. Why am I there? Blah blah blah. So the Mr. So and so came, found a nice young lady sitting there with very nice legs. Akashanga kauliza atikamuliza kawaita secretary working inside comes. And who is she? The secretary told her, oh, she's from Boots. They wonder what is it Boots about. So I went to the office. I talked to him, and you know what I told him? I told him I've been sent by Boots to collect our money, and I've been told by my boss that I cannot go back to the office until I have that check. I said, yes, that's on. So, but we can't do it right now. And I'm like, okay, for me, I'm going to sit here, and I'll go home with you. He said, no, you can't go home with me. Go to the chief accountant. They wrote the check. I go. Gave me, I went with it. My boss was saying, you see, we knew Jennifer, you could get it. Because I threatened him. He doesn't want to go with a woman back home.
Yes.
What will he tell his wife? He gave me my money. See, sometimes drama is good.
Dramatic. Okay, so I'd like us to talk about the power of visualization and also the power of believing.
Yes.
Because at times I hear you talking about you visualize certain things in your life and you achieve them.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Just like we say that whatever you take out to the inverse, it will affect you. If you are emitting negative emissions all the time, all negative will come to you. But if you are positive things come to you. But also, I'm a dreamer, and I've been a big dreamer, and I believe in my dreams. And when I was sleeping in that maringo, like I told you, on that on
the floor.
on the floor and so on, I used to dream of making money. I've always wanted to be rich. I was so young, but I wanted to make money. I wanted to be rich. So I dreamt and very prayerful. And I'll pray every day that may I pass my exams, may I do well, may I go to the university. Those days, I think in our location, I was the first girl to go to the university. And even in Maringo those days, we were not so many, maybe one or two who went to the university. So I was ambitious because my mother had told me when I saw Pamela Mboya, when she had come to marry TJ Mboya, they were neighbors. She came out in a yellow Volkswagen. And I wanted to own a Volkswagen like that one, a good car. I've never seen an African woman driving. And my mother again told me, work just hard. If you work hard, you'll also get those things. So I knew, and she had come from Accra and gone to America. So I knew if I work hard, I'll also be able to get those things. So from there, I started working. What else?
Power of believing and
Probably,
visualization.
yes. So I visualized that car, and many years later, my sisters would see that Volkswagen in the 80s, 90s. They would just, hey, Jenny, ebona gari yako, you know how at home, they called it, Jenny, ona hiyo gari yako Volkswagen. Of course, now it's different. But those are the power of visualization. And Bidanya, I visualized that when I have my child, she'll play piano,
Oh,
horse
I don't play
riding.
piano.
I wanted
I
you to
don't
do
ride the horse.
but because I told you you're too long.
Ballet, I don't play ballet.
You see, at that time, in the 60s, I was dreaming and thinking of you playing a piano, horse riding, doing ballet. So visualize. You have to visualize sometimes what you want. But again, visualize and act on it. Work hard and work towards what do I need to do to get those my visuals. Don't sit back and think they'll just come to you.
But in your 60s, I wasn't born in the 60s.
No, I'm saying me in the 60s.
Yes.
I was thinking about
Even
it.
before
Even before.
even before,
Even I went to
before you went to
secondary.
secondary.
Yes.
Oh, when you're a child, you were
Oh,
still
no,
thinking
yeah.
about the child
Yeah,
you
when I
want
was
to
in
have.
primary. Yes, when I was in primary. Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking. And we used to go and see those cinema things that used to go to Naona Taza na Jenny and all those things and so on. And then we used to do comics and so
Yeah.
on and what have you. So I was in primary, Bidanya. I not
And
even
you're
done my
thinking of
CP.
you're still a child, but you're thinking about the child you're going to
Have, yes, my ambition is that have money, live in a good house, drive good cars. And God gives you. And then, going to church. I was singing it also at St. Stephen's Choir when I was very young. So with that also listening to the sermons and what have you, and I believe in prayer. And I knew that prayer, and my mother also taught me the Lord's Prayer, the most important prayer, which I have also
Our
shared with
Father.
our fathers and
Yeah.
so on, that you pray and work hard toward it.
So, ma'am, I mean, you've had many firsts,
Yes.
which we know. The first teacher in Lenana, first salesperson Kodak, first entrepreneur awards. You've gotten about a
many.
few awards as a woman.
Yes.
So you've had many firsts. What qualities do you think have helped you be that first?
That's a hard question.
And why I'm saying that, because, in our time, we have social media, we have mentors, we have books, you can get ebooks, we have ChatGPT, we have, what is it called, AI. So there's quite a lot you can get resources and motivation from. So where did this not hunger, but the qualities, because there's certain qualities that you must have to be a leader, I believe.
I think also when I was growing up, apart from Pamela Mboya, I'll always go to her, and she was married by a minister, and we read newspapers. I wanted to be like her, so I had to work to be like her. So that gave me the motivation that for me to succeed, I need to work hard and have it in my mind.
What
that
qualities?
What are those now?
I can tell you because I saw them while I was growing up. But you
Tell
have to
me.
tell me. No, you
I
have
can't.
to.
I don't know now. Sasa mimi naweza kuondoka kwa hii meeting tu niende.
See meeting.
Hii interview. Hebu unisaidie
I
mtoi
think the
wangu.
qualities, mom, you had. I think mtoi, really.
But you are
Surely.
okay. Sawa, but because you are my child.
I think the qualities you've had, and I've seen you, is keeping time. You respect people's time.
That's normal for me.
It's
sorry.
normal for
So
you,
sorry
but
to
not
interrupt
normal for
quality.
many people.
But to me,
But that's our qualities.
But those are things I just want to
Timekeeping
know.
is qualities. Yeah, maybe they're nonchalant, they're normal for you, but
for
it's
me,
not.
yes. So that's when.
Also, the quality that you're a woman, you have a child, that should not be an excuse. And I see that also at Top Image Africa, whereby we have employees who are single parents, and you keep on saying it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
You still have to put your weight in the business. You still have to put your weight
Yeah,
as a
you have to
responsibility.
work
That cannot
hard.
be an excuse.
That's why just working hard. I think
It's not
making
work.
sure
It's not just
and
working
having
hard. You
results.
can work hard but not smart.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can
I'm a
be
street
hard but
smart.
not smart.
But street smart, I got it from Eastlandos, Maringo, who are all those people who grew up in Eastlands those days are very smart people and they are very successful, most of them.
And then I think the other quality is also, which is also part of Top Image Africa, is integrity. Why am I teaching you this?
Values.
You're supposed to be teaching me.
Because to me, even when people ask me, how did you make it? Or people tell me, Jennifer, you work so hard. I don't understand. Because that's me. It's normal.
It's inborn.
Inborn.
You had
So
no excuse
I
but
have no
to.
excuse. It's normal for
Yeah.
me to work hard and
right.
so result oriented. Also that Kimbele being forthright, bold, being number one, wanting to be number one all the time, to be in the forefront, helped. I don't know how you can call that one now.
Kimbelembele,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, Kimbele. So how do you say it now? Then I'm
Being
not shy.
assertive.
I'm very assertive. I don't feel shy. I ask for help.
Speak your words.
I speak my word. I ask for help. And if I don't know, I have the hunger to know what it is, either read or ask people. That's what I say. But when people tell me, oh, you work so hard, I don't understand that you work. That's a part of me working hard. Like my mother told me, work never killed anyone. So when you ask me those characteristics, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
Yes.
it makes sense to my viewers
Okay,
and to some of us.
Now you know it. So why are you asking me things? You might as well ask yourself, Sema.
When you're having a bad day,
Yes.
what do you do? Because we all have bad days.
Oh yes, those are there.
And it's normal. It's life.
Yeah. But can I tell you a story a bit if you don't mind?
Again, we have no stories. Do we even have time for stories?
No. People have
you
to
guys are
know.
not telling us how long we have. Because
This story
Mom
is
can
very interesting.
speak.
This is interesting. The Louis and me.
Hey,
What I can
answer
tell you.
question.
No, let me tell you. The bad days. Then I tell you what I do these days. But what I used to do. When I was working, and especially at J&J and what have you. You know there are 2 days in life. A bad day and a good day. So a good day, I'm so happy I come home, I have my voodoo. Okay, the following is a bad day, I have a voodoo. So I kept on having a voodoo every day.
Every day
I
it's
remember
time
when I
to
was
drink.
you were young, you asked me, Mama mbona wewe panalewa? You know, you couldn't say you're wondering because you used to see on TV that when people take alcohol, they get drunk. But I just used to take 1 or 2 shots and make good and so on. Now, these days, when I have a bad day, I still have a glass of wine, but not bad.
Yes.
Or then I go out with my friends to enjoy.
We're not
read
saying that when you have a bad day, you go to alcohol. No.
yeah.
Yes. That's not what we're saying.
No, but I mean, when I have a bad day, I have a glass of
You have
wine.
a glass of
Oh,
wine.
yes. Hiyo ni kweli. Even my bishop Nini used to know in church I say that kashaye lakini lazima ni then it makes me feel good bidanya.
Yeah.
It's true, it feels me good bidanya.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm
then
not
after
about to
that,
shy.
you're able to now re-strategize.
Strategize, have a meeting with myself, talk to myself, and then now strategize.
But it
that
lets you-
it calms me.
And lets you be in the moment of feeling down. Because at times
Yes.
people don't accept that, but you have to be in the
Another
moment of
thing,
feeling
when
down.
things are bad for me, I eat a lot. I get comfort from food. Yes, although I don't eat chocolate, but I eat a lot of food. My metabolism is so bad.
Junk
So the junk food makes me feel good that things have happened. I have a glass of wine, and then I have food. Good food. The junk food. Yes. Then I feel better.
And
Then I also pray.
Yeah. And Mom, there's this thing about work-life balance. Do you believe in work-life balance?
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo work-life balance. Kwanza during weekdays hakuna. Can only come on Saturday and Sunday. I don't have, I have no boundaries in the office, and you have been complaining.
Yes.
To me, Top Image Africa is my second baby. I think, I dream, I sleep, I walk it and so on. And you normally get upset because for me, even when you're talking to me even at midnight, 11, I want to talk about business and you don't want to talk. But
boundaries.
Saturdays or Sundays, that's when I have my work and work-life balance. Have my friends either entertain here or go out to the clubs and enjoy. That's it. But on a Monday to Friday, hizo ni siku za kazi. Hakuna work-life balance. Yes. I'm just telling you the truth, Bidanya, and you have seen it. So
No, but I'm
if I
saying
don't say,
because you at one time used to work so hard.
yes, I will not even see my house during the day.
Yeah.
At one time, I
So
was saying, oh my goodness, I would come at 8, 9 at home and so on. So that's why I'm saying I cook when
do
I
you think
balance.
that was easier for you to do because you're not married?
I think so, yes. Yeah, because if I had a kahazi, atataka upike chakula niambie unaenda wapi? Ukuje, you must come home by 5. Unafanya nini kwa ofisi? Because the way I used to have with me. Think you have it. Think you have
Mom,
a
it's okay.
very husband. So,
In the office.
yeah, mmepitia kona zingine. They're difficult to do. You know when
I can't.
you can't- you know when you have a husband, he's your firstborn. You have to report to him, take care of him, and so on. The fact that I didn't have a husband, actually to be Danya, the fact that I didn't have a husband, that's where I am.
There has to be work-life balance. There has to. Because
That
think
be
about
done.
career women who are married,
Yes, because then they are
who have
married.
kids.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
there has
understand.
to be.
But now I didn't have a kahazi, so that's why I didn't.
So you don't understand what work-life balance is.
Yeah, what it is, yes. I only had you.
Yeah.
We talk a bit and so on. But definitely, if I had a husband, I would be a very good wife.
No, I think it would be dramatic. I don't think so. I don't think it would be.
Akinifungia mlango hapo mi hiyo gate naipanda naanguka kutoka Islando kwangu, hizo vitu nazijua. Hata amenifungia nje, nitaingia nyumba, tawacha gari yako na
Nakupata huko ndani ya nyumba.
ama naanza kupiga mayowe huko wakati nakuja nao
I'm even sweating. No,
you know me,
Mom.
I'm such a I can be dramatic. I remember I used to do drama in school. Yes, yeah.
Mom, you had tissue somewhere there.
I hide it. It's mine.
I can't.
You
I'm just
let me
feeling.
hide up.
I'm feeling you're too much.
I'm too much.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this
You're
is a
the one who
serious
asked. You're the one
question.
who asked, yes.
Lifestyle inflation. And why I'm asking you this question, and it would be very nice for people to know your thoughts about it, because you're very good at your finances.
Yes.
Yeah. And lifestyle inflation is where, you get a good job, then you buy a new car.
Yes.
Yeah,
you move a new house.
you get get another new job, you get money, you buy a bigger house. You keep on upgrading to how
Yes.
much you're receiving.
Yes.
And then if there's an iPhone 18
Yeah. You
and
want to
you're
buy.
17, you want to buy the iPhone 18
Yes.
instead of just sticking to the iPhone that is working, that is
Yes.
doing well.
Like
yeah?
mine, I'm just still on 13.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
So and I think that is something that's really affecting our society now, especially us.
Yes.
Me, all
Yeah.
us young ones, it's really affecting us
Yeah.
because we and then with social media,
Yes.
you want to show it also.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
bought this, I have
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And it now affects your opportunity of being financially, is it stable?
Stable in the future.
And also about the future. And it's something always you talk about is savings.
Savings. Yes, yeah.
So tell me more about how you're able to manage your finances then and even now.
I think I don't know. I learned that. Okay, I don't know if you have read Things Fall Apart. Where it talks about Okonkwo.
Your eyes staring, Mama.
Yeah, Okonkwo did not
laughing.
want to because of laughing to feel like his father. My father had a lot of money when we were growing up. We were middle class at that time. We moved to Maringo those days, the first houses for middle class Africa in 1959. So I saw him money come. He used to have a lot of money, and he just used to misuse his money. He never used to save. My father really loved women. He was handsome, tall, good looking, very handsome man. So also the women loved him so much, and he also loved them, and he wanted to treat them so. But that's okay. It's a fact. There's no harm.
Okay.
So
Granddad.
he used
in
to
peace.
he used to spend so that when he retired, he was going through very difficult times, and I saw myself that when I grow one of the things I pray to God and thank you, Lord, I was afraid to grow old poor. So I worked in a way that I must take care of my money. And Bidanya, remember even years ago, I used to have like a notebook. When I spend something, I must note it down. Even if it's a maembe, I bought 20 shillings and so on. Sometimes I'll tell you, Bidanya, I don't know where my money is. Then you tell me, Mom, just remember what have you. So I've been very careful when handling cash and even in the business. And even that's like what I have told you also. Even when we have money in the account, we don't go to spend it. We save it for the next 3 months because we don't know if the client pay us their salaries for 3 months. So we save it sometimes 5 months, 6 months, so that when they dry spell, we are servicing our contracts. And that's why I think we have also been successful, and a lot of clients have kept us for so long because they say top image has money. It's not that we have money, cash flow, but because I will not see a big amount in the bank and go and buy something. I have to budget for it, and I say, as I save for so long, when this gets so much, then I go buy that thing. As opposed to young people, and even people my age also, they will do the same mistakes. Some would get money and take a holiday to Mombasa. After 3-4 months, their business has gone down because they have gone to enjoy themselves. They have bought something else. And that's the problem with young people. Not even young, a lot of people don't know how to save. The East countries are very good at savings, and it's something we don't teach in school and we don't teach our children. Me, I've always saved. I remember I once saved 60 shillings to go and I buy myself white boots, and my father borrowed that money to do something, and he was not paying me my drama. He had to give it to me. Yes.
Because with
Pay
lifestyle
back.
inflation, what happens is you keep on spending and
Yes.
you don't
Yeah.
have money. You just,
Spend.
it's a
In
roller
fact,
coaster of some sort.
I look at some of these influencers making a lot of money and buying things and so on, and I really hope that they are saving so that they don't reach at the age of 60 and they have no money. We are now fundraising them because they are sick, and we have seen it even with the athletes, our footballers. When they have money, they just enjoy. They don't think about tomorrow. But for me, one thing when I had I was a teacher and I was working for Kodak and the others. One thing I didn't want is to grow poor. So I started saving for my old age. And that's people should know. Because and 2 days, even in business, sometimes one quarter you do well, another quarter you're not doing well. But the most important thing is to save. And I also tell people, when you start a business, make sure that at least you have a rent for 6 months, you are rent for 6 months, or even 1 year, and school fees for your children for 1 year before you get into it. What happens when you start the business and you start using it, then you are not able to to invest back into the business, and the business fails.
And
Yes.
there's also one thing, sorry, excuse me. There's also one thing you always used to say, that as an entrepreneur, always pay yourself first.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you make sure you pay yourself first.
Especially when the business has stabilized, pay yourself also, so that you can do certain things with that money, as opposed to raiding just the company all the time.
Yes.
Be disciplined. Say, okay, for this, as the CEO, how much money do I need so that you pay? So that you are not raiding. You are on payroll like anyone else.
Yeah. And also not being in debt, or at the end you're miserable and
Yes.
not driving the business.
Correct.
There's this 50-30-20 rule when it comes to financial independence, or can I say financial stability? Are you aware about it?
No.
So the 50% is you spend your money on your necessities.
Okay. Oh.
30% you spend on your wants, because it's
Okay.
important
Oh,
to
yeah,
spend
yeah,
on your
the ones,
wants.
yes.
Because you have some people who are hoarders and they don't want to spend money, and we only live for
Yes.
life is for the living, and then the 20% is for saving.
Yes.
What do you think? I think that's a good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And even if you can save even 40, the better for you.
No, but it will be hard, Mama.
Not
Why are you
sometimes it
pushing
can.
it to 40? That's why it's 50,
It depends on
30,
yeah.
20. Because
But
I
if
think
you-
it's easy to save 20% of your earnings.
Yes.
Because, ma'am, their wants, their needs. The wants are, I want a beautiful dress. I want to go spend like you say, travel,
Yeah.
have lunch with friends,
Yes, yes.
and the needs, those ones, it's your
But
basic
then if you
needs.
can afford to say much more than that, even the better for you. If you can. Not necessarily 20.
But you know
Don't
it's hard.
I don't believe it's hard. You just reorganize your life and yourself and your friends and so on. You can. If you want. And there are times
I'm
I
saying
tell you,
over 20%.
then there are times I've done, you know what I do? I avoid certain people who can want me to spend a lot of money. Sorry to say so. To spend so much money. I know they like to spend money carelessly. I avoid them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I don't believe like you eating out. You believe in eating out,
Dining out. It's
yeah,
about the experience,
and going to
Mama.
those.
Life is too
What do you call
short.
those? Fine dining things
Fine
like that.
dining.
For me, I like entertaining at home.
Yeah.
Because it's cheaper for me to
Yeah,
entertain
those
at
you
home.
people.
Yes, yeah, you
It's
ask people.
your
But you like
generation.
going to the place.
It's about the experience, Mama. It's about the experience.
What
Life
experience?
is too short. You have to enjoy the moment.
I also
You
enjoy
have
it
to
here in
capture.
my house here.
Mtakula ugali mara
Si
ngapi
ugali, kwa nakwambia tunakulanga tu
nyumbani
ugali hapa.
na chapo na cabbage
Si
na
tunaletanga chef.
kienyeji.
Sometimes I bring a chef to cook for us.
Yeah,
yes,
once in a while.
Yeah.
But
why?
you need to go
You
enjoy
have just
yourself.
reminded me what you did in Dubai.
We cannot talk about that,
Yes.
Mama. We cannot talk about
I spent
that.
how much
We
money
cannot- we
on
cannot
what?
talk- we
I won't
cannot
talk
talk
about
about
it.
that.
I
We
wish I could
cannot-
remember.
We cannot. Just,
She took
Ma'am,
me to
you cannot talk about it.
a restaurant. Do you
Ma'am,
want me to say?
It's a Japanese restaurant, but you cannot
I was
talk
shocked.
about it.
Remember, I was shocked.
Yes,
I
just
couldn't
leave
recover
it
for
there.
3 days. Na ilikuwa nini ulikula?
Sisemi. Sisemi.
Hiyo. siwezi.
Semi. Remember, I'm looking for husband, so you
Yes,
cannot start
but
saying such
who
things
says
on
husband?
podcast.
Aki, but then you go order that man will take off. That kind of food you ordered, the man will take off. Yes. You are
So,
too expensive.
No, I'm
you are
not.
bourgeois.
No, where God did I get it from you?
Not from me. Me,
has
I'm
to
a
be
very
from
down.
you.
Me, I'm a girl from Islando. I'm very proud of coming from Marish, Maringo, Oriongo.
I also came up from Marish,
You were-
Oriongo, and
Apana.
Madaraka. Yeah.
You just Madaraka.
Yeah, but still.
Then you went
Humble
to
beginnings.
No, but then you went to those sites.
Sides.
Uko Hurlingham.
Then.
But this one. It's over. This interview is over, Sema. Yes,
Oh,
Sema.
And that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, you'll see more of my beautiful, I can't call her crazy because she's mom, but you'll see more of her. And Mama, thank you so much. It's always a joy having you.
I'm such an interesting person.
It's always a joy.
And people love me, my friends. Every party, even up to now, my friends can't do without me.
I know.
And when I was younger, I'm the life of the party.
Yes, you are. Yes, you
yeah.
are. So thank you for being my guest again.
Thank you.
Lakini kuchoma, we need to stop. There's some
Kwanza
things you
sijasema
cannot.
vitu zingine.
There's some things you
Wacha
can't
tu.
say.
Sawa.
Thank you and bye.
Bye. Wrap up.